Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back to the live stream. So, today we are going to be working on some details for Precious. I'm just going to get some light on the subject. So, we're going to do some details and we're going to do some yellow tones. Yellow tones are something that I don't know. I'm not always enthusiastic about doing on not vinyl, on silicone. For me, it just doesn't blend well, and that may be because I might be making it too concentrated. So I'm going to try very hard to do a very minimal wash, but I'm not going to coat the baby in the yellow. I'm just going to put yellow in certain areas, like a highlight, highlights, low life lights, things like that. So yesterday I did some purple modeling, what I would call violet, and it turned out really well. I thought it was very subtle. So here is my collection of leftover silicone. I'm definitely going to put on my gloves to start off. Hi, Aunt Queet Treasure Reports. Uh, Aunt, okay, AUNIQUE Treasure. Because I cannot pronounce your name, so I don't want to say it wrong. So I'm gonna spell it out. Hello, and oh, Misty, thank you, Misty. Thank you for coming in. Okay, so here is the lavender that we did yesterday, and it is nice. It's very strong. So now I just have to remember where I did with my other silicone collection is around here somewhere. And I don't know that I'm even going to be needing this cup because I want to do details on her mouth. And the yellow that I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to need that much. So I think we can just use this little thing here. Okay. Now, I'm going to start mixing up a couple of different wells here. Just equal parts of A and B so that we can get different colors going, because I like to do her tongue. Let's do 4 wells as well as her lips, and then maybe we can even do her fingernails today. Hey, Sealy Doll Collector, welcome, welcome. And as usual, look at that. B is always so messy. So I'm going to clean that off and hopefully it's not clogged up. Okay, so we'll put our equal parts in. Oops. Pretty soon, well, I won't say pretty soon because I won't have to, yeah, I will have to do it in Okay, sorry about that. We froze a little bit because I got a phone call in and I film on my phone. So hopefully I sent that person a message because a lot of times that person does call me back twice. Ugh, come on. Don't make me have to open up the lid. Okay. So we are, once again, for anybody who is joining the live stream and has not been here, we are doing a silicone reborn, which is the Precious kit. And that was sculpted by um, Laurie Sullivan Roy. All right, so there's um, there's many different types of yellow, and they look a little bit different. So on the two paints that I'm going to be using today, I have a Silk Pig yellow, which is probably a very true yellow to me. This is the Silk Pig yellow. So I'm going to use this with a toothpick because I just got a very little bit. Let's take out a couple of them. Okay. So we'll mix up our yellow first. And I want a very pale yellow. So once I put the solvent in it, the solvent I use is Bob Ross. So I'm using the Bob Ross solvent. It's odorless, which helps. There we go. Just a little splash. And so we'll use a stick. And I want to make a very thin wash, but like I said before, when you make something very thin, it does take a longer time to cure. Now, I don't want my baby to have this bright yellow on it, so I'm going to mute it a little bit. I'm going to grab this toothpick, and I'm going to use a little bit of this flesh tone, this Silk Pig, and I love this flesh tone color. You don't have to mix it to get this pure color. So let's put that in there and see what, I've never mixed flesh tone with yellow, so we're gonna see what that looks like. But I definitely think that we didn't want to make her too yellow. This may have made it too flesh tone. But that's okay, because you know what we do when we make something too flesh tone? We go put it in the next well and add some more yellow to it. Yeah. Just a little teeny bit of yellow. Just a littlest bit. Yeah, I can see how concentrated the pigments are. These pigments are super concentrated. They should last you a whole long time. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of that. It might be too much. Just just a little bit. It's like, you know when you know. You know, there's no guidebook that says this is how you mix the colors. You put one part this and one part that. You just kind of, you know what your eye wants to see. That makes sense. Now we'll just thin it out a little bit. And I think that that works pretty well for me. I can see this color going on the flush, maybe just a tad more. All right. Now, where I see it is kind of like between the fingers. So I have this thin brush here. I don't know if this is small enough. I do have a smaller brush somewhere. Let's pull out the trusty cosmetic little cosmetic thing here. And these have some really tiny brushes. So we'll take out like 3 of those. I'll probably end up losing like 2 of them. Okay. So I'm going to bring it in a little bit more so we can see some details. So this is where, make it a little soft, where I want to see some yellow. So on the palm, going on to the palm. And then I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of that yellow going up the finger. I've never done this before. In any of the kits that I've painted, I've never done this much detail work before, where I painted between the fingers. But like I'm trying to what I indicated before is that I am really trying to up the game, my game, that is. I'm just trying to teach myself better techniques. And I was telling another person who wanted to buy a doll, but they couldn't. And I told them, you know, I'm getting better. I am getting better with each doll that I paint. Like I am seeing things in a different way. So even if you can't, you know, you see this doll and you absolutely like it and you want an opportunity to get it, just know that pretty soon it is my goal in life to make you want a different one, to make you want the next one. I like that. I like that technique. All right, let's do this hand. And I do see some specks here. I was going to wash her off, But since I'm not going to be doing any actual modeling, I decided that I would do wash her and just with some Dawn dish soap after I do these details. So after I do these details and it cures, before I do the next part, I will get her nice and saturated and, you know, washed off pretty well. And all of these little, even though I keep her covered every night, it seems like when I open the little case, that the little cover, she is got little black spots on her. I remember somebody else. I remember watching. I don't know if it was a comment, um, but someone said, "Why does my kit have little black dots on it?" And I remember thinking, "Yeah, how are we gonna know? Like what kind of black?" I think they're talking about these, because I have no idea. I even vacuumed, um, before I started today. So, hoping that that would mitigate some of this. Hey, Doris Ward, thanks for coming in. So, I am just adding some yellow highlights. I see these yellows between the fingers and sometimes going up, So, I'm just kind of replicating that kind of tone. I'm going to do the same for her foot. And before I do that, let me get rid of some of my instruments that has pure yellow on it, because that's how I got blue all over Precious the last time when I was doing highlights or doing blue veins, and I ended up getting so much blue all over the place. It was a nightmare, guys. Literally a nightmare. Okay. Oop. This phone was so heavy it made the tripod. It's making the tripod tilt. So I'll just do it like this. Okay. We are doing a doll. This is not a real baby, so I am not. Oh, I think I see some. Yeah, I got some on my gloves. I have deposited some yellow on the kit, getting rid of my instruments so that I wouldn't deposit yellow. But the alcohol that I just sprayed should get rid of that. Then it just evaporates on its own. Hi, Ursula from the UK. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. And I am keeping my eye on the comments as I paint. So if I don't catch you, like if you have a question and I don't catch it, I will get back to it, or ask it again if I'm taking a long time to answer questions. But mostly, I'm just trying to paint. But if you have questions, I don't mind answering them, but I'm actually here just trying to paint, y'all. Okay, so I see kind of yellows in places like that. In a way, sometimes things aren't like obviously visible, but you detect it or it builds. So it's like subtle. And I think that's what I'm going for when I add this kind of yellow. And this is the exact yellow that I pictured in my mind when I said that I wanted to do some yellow. And I would definitely do yellow on a doll that has brown tones. But on lighter skinned dolls, I mean, I'm going to say it's a touch and go. It really is, because it doesn't blend well. Yellow doesn't blend into the kit, into a silicone kit, in my opinion, or at least the way I've done it, it don't. All right, I need to go ahead and add some liquid to this, because it will begin to harden without the solvent. So it'll start to cure. And the solvent helps it to remain liquid, but to also give me a little bit time. A little more. So even though I haven't mixed the pigments in it yet, because I feel like I'm going to get to it quick enough to, like I would say I would have a good hour. 45 minutes to an hour, and I'm not going to need that long. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at her face and put some details on her face. I see yellow on a baby's nose. So I'm yellow on her T-zone, and like right here, I would see yellow. Here is that brush I was looking for, I think. I'm going to use this brush. Let me just kind of get it wet with some solvent. It's like I'm prepping it a little bit. And I'm just going to add a little bit in here and use my pouncer. I don't even know that you can see it, because I can't really. But that is the mistake that I always make. I'm like, I don't see it. And then after it's all said and done and it's matted, and I'm like, why is there these big yellow blotches all over the kit? And that's why. I know this yellow is here, and I'm just going to add it to knock down some of the paleness. She should have some here. Here. And then just kind of knock it down. And some here. What do you guys think? I don't know if you can see it, but definitely on the screen, it really comes up as yellow. But in live, it doesn't. Like my naked eye doesn't see as much yellow. But when I'm looking at my computer screen, because that's the only way I can keep up with you guys' chats and questions and things. So definitely when I look at the computer, I am seeing these yellow highlights. So just a little touch on parts of the ear. And I feel like there should be some right here and right here. Okay, so I feel comfortable with what I have done in reference to the yellow on her face. And now I want to just apply a little bit. Let me knock some of this off of her hands. A little bit on her body, like modeled, to look modeled. So for that, we have to make a modeling sponge, which I'm going to need these tweezers and a cup. Let's use this purple cup. And then we just kind of put holes in there. Now I already have a modeling sponge, but it's big. And I want to be able to do like targeted modeling. So I don't want that real big, huge one that I've been using across her body. Also, I don't want any points on it. So, and I want big models. And so in other words, I want to make kind of big holes. And I think this will be good. We'll see how that looks when I'm and we'll apply some on her legs, I think, because I think we would see a lot of modeled flesh on a newborn baby's extremities, arms and legs. You know what? Let's do her arms, her hands, since we have her up here. Can't really see it. I don't really see it. Which means that I'm fine with with continuing. I don't know if I want to continue brushing it on, but let's kind of dip it. And we'll put a little bit on her head. And a little bit on her belly. So let's just kind of lower this a little bit. So around the pale part of her body is where I would think there should be yellow. Okay, that's enough yellow. I am afraid to go any further with the yellow. Now we're going to do, let's work on her tongue now. So I'm going to prop her mouth open. There. And let's lift her head up a little bit. I like this from yesterday. There. It, we're gonna use this Silk Pig. And we'll get another, bring her over a little bit so you can see me mixing. Grab some more toothpicks. Maybe just not so many at once. Okay. Now, I don't know if y'all can see like a magenta tone to this, but I see purples in there, which I totally despise. Although I don't know if I would despise it so much inside of her mouth, because you're not going to really see inside of her mouth as much. Make sure I don't have any. We definitely don't want to get red tones in her mouth. I mean, on her face, because that would be very difficult to come off. And just being super careful. It's almost like I'm holding my breath so I don't draw outside of the lines. Okay. And also, I mean, it doesn't have to be like super red. In other words, she don't have to look like she has injuries in her mouth. It just has to have the impression of redness. I mean, she doesn't have a tongue. So we're just basically dealing with her gums. Let's clean up her lips. Okay. She still needs a little bit more smoothing out in her mouth. I'm happy I grabbed a bunch of these cosmetic sponges because I don't want to get a whole bunch of stuff on her mouth. All right, let's see. I think that's pretty good. Inside. I don't know if you guys can see inside of her mouth. Okay, so now I'm going to take some pig's blood. I call it pig's blood. It's not called Bill. It's called Blood by Silk Pig. For some reason, it just looks to me like pig blood. um, and that's the color that I want to put on her lips. So I want to put just a little dab in a clean well of this color. And then I'll take the opposite side and I'll use just want to stretch it out a little bit. Now I'm going to add the a little bit of the so it has kind of like brown tones in it. And maybe a little bit more of this red. And maybe a little bit of this color here, but I just don't want to get that too dirty. So a new coffee stir stick. Buy this stuff by the thousand, basically, is what you would want to do. Okay, let's just kind of stir. We're going to use a little bit of that fleshy yellow just to lighten up that color, because I'm going to still add some. Oh, wow. That color looks really good. I like that for her lip color. Just need to thin it down a little bit. And I want to thank everybody for showing up for the live stream. I totally appreciate it. We've had a lot of people who come by to actually watch this after it has filmed. So I appreciate those that are able to show up at a minute's notice, which is basically how I've been scheduling it. It's like, I really don't know when I'm going to come on. But I did have a very busy, lucrative day where I was able to take care of a whole bunch of stuff that I need to take care of. I'm going to be going on vacation pretty soon. And one of my priorities is to finish rooting the doll that I've been working on, which is the Amaya kit. I gotta clean this brush off, but I do also have to kind of clean up her lips a little bit. So I've been working on a toddler kit. You say that. And that toddler kit is the Amaya kit by Connie Burke. And she is super, super gorgeous. Okay, now I don't want there to be like big spots. I want there to be like a very natural translucency to the lips. So like when you put on lipstick, a lot of times you're not going to have translucency. You're going to have like a full coverage. But a baby should have certain areas that still has, in my opinion, has some flesh tone to it. So that's where I leave like a lot of this little peak. I leave that um, kind of blank. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Let's kind of clean up under her nose. I see a little bit of lint there. Let's grab the tweezers. So we want to get rid of Precious' mustache. She doesn't have a mustache. There. Also, I kind of think that there shouldn't be too much color in the corners of the mouth. So I'm going to kind of get rid of some of that. Also, let's get a new stick. Just want to get rid of some of this. So it's kind of hard for me to see with her lips all stretched out like that. But this is only just like the first. But I think that looks pretty good. All right, now this is a perfect color for the creasing of her palms. So, and this is a good paintbrush for that. So let's go ahead and add the creasing here. Might be a little dark. I like that. That looks pretty good. And just kind of dab a little bit off. Just making it so subtle. So in the camera, it looks very subtle. And then just like here. In here. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to do the backs of her hands, I don't think, with the creasing color because it'll wipe this off because it's so subtle. But that's okay. We're not trying to rush. We got plenty done today. We did some yellow details. We did the lips and the inside of the mouth. And now we're going to complete the creasing on the palms and on the feet. And then we'll take pictures. And when I upload this live to the channel, I'll show the picture of what she looks like after these details have been taken care of. Okay, we don't want to get too dark. If I get a little bit dark, I am going to knock some of that off. And right here. And then here. Under her hand, where her wrist is, we're just going to hit it with a little bit of color. I think I can do her thumb. You know what? I might be able to do her hand because I'm able to hold her hand without touching the palms. Her wrist is a great handle. So I may be able, I will try. I'm not going to hit the back of her hands. I'm going to just focus on her fingers. And I'm not going to try to get every line that I see. I just kind of want to get an impression of her knuckles. Yesterday, I did a live on TikTok. So, and it was so fun. My sister was able to join me. And so we were, like I was saying earlier, I was rooting Little Amaya by Connie Burke. And she was rooting Felicity by Bountiful Baby. Because she has a person who wanted to purchase Felicity, but she created Felicity as a bald baby. So, I don't know if I can do this right here. But they wanted hair. So she went ahead and rooted hair on little Felicity. And y'all, when I tell you, my sister does not enjoy rooting, but she has been putting her foot in this rooting that she's been doing. So if you want to catch her, she does have a YouTube channel too. Here on YouTube, her name is Mrs. Sunflower. Oh no, it's Sunflower Baby Angels. Sorry. So Sunflower Baby Angels, and then on if you want to catch her on her TikTok. It is Mrs. Sunflower, and she's been rooting almost every day because she wants to go ahead and get that baby out to his new parents. I think that looks pretty realistic. Let's do this hand. I thought I was going to do the fingernails today, but no, I don't think I'm going to be getting to those fingernails. Not the way this creasing is taking, so okay, I ain't gonna call it the creasing. Not the way I'm taking so long concentrating on this creasing. And this is not the body creasing, but this would be the same color that I would want to use. Possibly a little bit lighter, but you have to remember how I mix this color, because this wasn't kind of new for me. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I don't want it too dark. I just want the impression of a line. Actually, I can touch. I'm being super careful, and I forgot I didn't even paint the back yet. So I can actually brace it a little bit while I get a little bit more up here. Yeah, I should have did the fingers first. Before I try to do the palm. But yeah, yesterday when my sister and I were doing our live stream, and we were both rooting, and I kind of got done before her. So I opened up some Amazon packages, and I brought out some other dolls. I had the Chinoa kit, so I brought her out and gave her some snacks, and I think I got her dressed up a little bit. And she tried on some of the clothes that she got from Amazon, some boots. So right now, my sister, I don't know how that works. We can go live together on, yeah, open hands are my favorite too. I was saying earlier, don't give me no baby with two closed fists. I need at least one open hand and two open hands. Well, yeah, I am just in heaven right now. But yeah, if y'all come on that TikTok, please be sure to follow me on TikTok, because I can do a lot more on TikTok with my sister, because she has the subscriber count. Like, she doesn't have the subscribers. I think they require you to have the subscribers to go live. I know you do on TikTok. You got to have a certain amount of subscribers before you can go live. So, if you want to follow me on TikTok, that looks super yellow right there. So I just knock some of that yellow out. After I do, let's turn her hand this way. After I do the back of her hand, I'll come back and do the inside of her wrist when I do her fingers. I'm happy I didn't overdo it with that yellow, because as it dries, I can start to see it more prominently between her fingers, which I want to see it. Before I was like, is it even really doing anything? But it is, and I like that. Yeah, if you want to watch me on TikTok, I keep getting distracted, guys. If you would like to watch me on TikTok, my name there is Pepper. I'm under Peppers Reborns with a underscore. So Peppers underscore Reborns. Same thing with Instagram. I am also on Insta. I just started that Instagram account. I have like totally no people there, which is fine. Because the people who want to see doll videos will find it. You know, but I'm not going to invite like just random people. It is for the doll community. Because I have another TikTok, you know, and another Instagram, like personal ones and business ones, but dedicated to just the doll world is under Peppers underscore Reborns. And that's the name on my TikTok as well. Okay, I really like the natural look of the creases on her knuckles. There in the past, I won't lie, I have made some really shadowed creases that no, I'm not going to say creases, shadowed knuckles that did not really look realistic. They gave you the impression of, you know, hey, there's a knuckle here. But like right here, I feel like I'm really adding that specific detail. Let's get that thumb because you know I would have forgot that thumb. I want to kind of knock off some of the color, some of the blue that's on her thumb. This blue is not what I painted on. This is probably a blue smudge. But since I have a little bit of this here, I can use this to kind of hide some of that blue. And then just I think the details on this doll is so amazing, considering that it was sculpted and not scanned. And I do like scanned babies too, but I'm just saying the details on a scanned baby, it's because you actually took a real baby, what they call a real born. So a real born reborn is scanned. And you see that from Bountiful Baby. Like my Stephen kit was a real born, it was scanned. There's a real baby that looks just like Steve. That is Stephen, scanned from Stephen. And of course, you're going to see amazing details. But when you have a person who actually took a piece of clay and sculpted, the details, like this hand, this is why I collect these. This is why I want to paint them, because when I see something this beautiful, it just amazes me. It makes me just like want to stare at it. So now let's do her feet. Is she got a little clay feet? That's what I call it. Little claymation feet. She don't have any details on the bottom of her feet, basically. So I'm going to put some just little cursory lines in it. But See, there is just not that much going on in her bottom of her feet. And we're not going to, like I said before at one point when I was working on her feet, I am not going to do too much to this. It's like I can barely see that line right there. But I know there's one there because all babies have to have, well, I shouldn't say all babies. Most babies have that type of line there. So it'll be a line here. And then a line that would crisscross that, like maybe there. And here. And then maybe, no, I'm like, I know I see a piece of fuzz. There's one here and one here. And you know what? That's about it. Just maybe here. And then like here. And after the baby toe. This part is kind of hard to paint when there's not an actual line there, but it's gonna do what it do. All right, let's get her little, now the back of her feet, she has kind of a lot going on here. She got some knuckle creases. So I can add that in there. It's another piece of hair or fuzz. Okay. I say okay when I think that it's enough. It's like, okay, you know what? That's enough. Leave it alone now. My glove is sticking to the silicone a little bit and it's making a little crink crink sound. Okay, one thing that I do, well, I kind of see this one right here. So I do typically see a crease going across the toes. She got some little fat feet. Yeah, her feet is super fat and cute. I love me a little baby that's got some little fatness to her. I think it's so adorable. And since I don't want our little creation to have lines per se, I just want her to have the impression. Let's do the other foot now. I do want to get this back part right here though. like right here. Oh, here is what it looks like so far. So far, so good. And yeah, I can kind of see the impression of a line here, like right in here, and over the big toe. Right here, I see. And right in here. Do you have her mouth propped open? Yes, I do. If I, like, I'll forget sometimes, and if I forget, it will seal shut because the silicone, even though it's paint, is actually silicone too, as well, I should say. So it would be like this. It would be like this. I would literally have to either tear it apart if it's thin enough, or use a razor to slice it open again, which I've done before. And it typically, I mean, it's a pain to have to do, but it doesn't like destroy the lips or anything like that when I've had to do that. And then sometimes the stick might come out, the popsicle stick or the toothpick that I use to prop the mouth open. Okay. I thought I was going to have to open her mouth, but the sculptor opened it. I didn't know. So I just kind of had, she was such a soft silicone that I just had to kind of pull the the silicone apart, and there it was. It was already done for me. Now we'll do these knuckles and we'll be done with her feet. I keep depositing little small amounts, little droplets, because it's like a magnet. The silicone is like a magnet. It's drawing the silicone to it. So it's not like I'm really actually dripping it on. It's just kind of jumping off the paintbrush and onto the silicone. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen Smith says she loves my artwork. Kristen just got one of my favorite kits. I was uploading it, the packaging of Little Sam, which she named her baby Pippa. And it's such an appropriate name for such a cute little kit. So she got the Sam partial silicone kit, and I've done already, that's my third Sam. That tells you how much I love that Sam kit. So yeah, keep your eyes out open for the packaging of Pippa as I send her home. Okay, I think that is the okay for stop what you're doing and keep it moving. All right, it's time to keep it moving. So let's go ahead and do, no, I think it's good. No, we'll just do this. Okay, so now that we have that foot done, let me put just a little bit across the top of the third knuckle right here. And across the top of the second knuckle. Okay, I like that. Thank you, Kristen. Kristen says that the baby was so beautiful, as are all of the babies, all of my babies. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, can y'all see her belly button? We're going to work on her belly button and then her nipples. And that might be it for the video today because I worked on her fingers. I can't do her nails yet today, right now. I'm going to come back tomorrow. I can't say what time I'm going to come back because, unfortunately, I just don't know what I'm going to be doing. Let's get around her nipples. Actually, I can see that this could have a little brown in it, but we'll just do it like this for now. Bring her over a little bit and just kind of outline around the center. Actually, I should use that bigger brush because this is going to take a minute. We'll use this brush. I don't know, that brush might be a little bit big. Okay, it's not bad. So it is a little big. Oops, I touched it. But it's leaving a pretty decent amount behind. Okay, I need to kind of tilt her over a little bit so I can see her. Had a kind of a lot of paint on the brush when I was doing that. Okay, well, I think that's about it. Maybe a little touch of pink in the center. Now I do have to, off camera, put just a little bit of creasing in her little private areas, but since we decided not to show that on YouTube for monetization purposes, I will do that off camera. I'll take a picture of her with the yellow tones. I don't know if you can see it very well. When I look at the computer again, I can see it. I'm gonna take off my gloves. I hate to take off my gloves because I still gotta wash my hands, but I want to try to pull the camera a little bit closer. Oop. Toward her face. And we can remove this now. She looks like a sleeping little baby. One thing I do see is that her crease here. She must have a crease here. So her eyebrows will be here. Right here. But they will be auburn, even though her hair is red. So I just want to leave the impression of where her eyebrows will be. And then we just need to put a little bit up in her nose, her nostrils. So we got a little oopsie. But I can get that with this. Yeah, when she comes back tomorrow, we gotta see her again. She is definitely going to have a bath. So I can get rid of all those little black spots. A little bit dark on her. And a little bit too much there. And a little bit too much underneath. There it is. So for now, well, there is one little thing I could do. This isn't the right type of red, but let me just see. If it's dry enough, it should stretch and leave a vein-like appearance. Like that. Like a capillary. Yeah, like that. But not like a scratch. I'm not trying to give her scratches. Okay, I think that we've messed with this baby. We have messed with this baby enough. Let's give her a break for the day. Thank you guys for joining. I usually take the camera off, but I don't know if I can get any closer than this. Man, from this, she